Hello, is it clear? Any response?
Can see.
Alright, I guess now I will start my simple talk lah. So, good evening everyone. My name is Beitin, and you guys can call me Ben. A little background before we start the whole session lah. I'm currently 24. I graduated from Asia Pacific University as a data analytics student. But now I'm currently working as a front-end web developer lah. And little background of my experience using this Tor stack. I only learned all four components from scratch since less than 3 months ago. So my knowledge might be lacking in some areas. So a bit rotten me lah, can I say. So with my background out of the way, so in this session, I will first share some basic information on the Tor stack and then demonstrate some live coding to show some simple functionalities. So, so first of all, what is Tor stack? Right. The TALL is an acronym stands for T, Tailwind, A, Alpine Js, L, laravel, and the second L, livewire. Simple, right? With those in mind, I will first start the explanation on the first component. It's called Tailwind. So when you first visit Tailwind official website, you will be greeted with this. It show you like rapidly build modern website without ever leaving HTML. Sounds simple, right? Next part. A utility first CSS framework. For me, I have no idea what it means, so it's okay. I'll explain it later. Because like Flex, PT4, Text Center, and Routine 90, they can be composed to build any design directly in your markup. So when I first read this, I was like, whatever is the utility first CSS framework. But it's fine. I'm here to explain all the things. So with utility first, like traditionally, we were taught about using the CSS class to represent different elements of our UI. I have an example here, like this one. You have div class card, and you have padding 10, and you have background white. And to extend, you have card titles, and then you have the font size 20. But for utility first, it flips the idea, and they use the class not to define the different components. So they rather provide us with a toolbox of helper classes. Like let's say, like instead of like padding 10, we have P10, and we do have these cards. So we flip the idea around and uses the same, like this tool does the same thing, like padding 10, BG is background white, and this text LG. LG they pre-program as a font size 20 lah. So these two codes do the same thing, but this is in Tailwind and this is in raw CSS file. So yeah. So moving on. So now you might wonder, what about Bootstrap? Which one is better? What's the difference between the two? So Bootstrap, I think most people know, but I will still explain. It's another similar CSS framework, just like Tailwind, but it's been around like more than a decade. On the other hand, Tailwind is like released back in 2017. Okay, so with that in mind, I will split this section into three parts lah, like personal experience, hearsays, and facts. So when I first started using Bootstrap, I was doing my intern in my degree as I think it was a full stack web developer. So after learning the very basics know-hows, I started to recognize the Bootstrap usage like in the wild, like easily see. You can see that, oh, someone uses BTN danger. You get the red button. It's very, the size is there. Everyone knows what is BTN danger if you even touched Bootstrap before. So it's not like this is a bad thing. Like you can see the Bootstrap usage all over the website. It just gives a feeling that the website that uses Bootstrap is too generic and too similar. Might give you a feeling, and you might not like that if you are pushing for more like tech savvy customers. So with Tailwind, you have more flexibility that you can do things that you want by yourself. And as for the hearsays, this information I share might not be correct, but words from a senior is that if you really want to do a specific customization on the pre-style bootstrap component, like I say just now, BTN danger, get a red button with a pre-style padding, everything. And if you let's say want to change their padding, you might need to do a hack around and make your code more bloated than you it should be lah. And for that maybe you increase your server load size. There I have not for sure. Just a hearsay. And finally the actual facts. Since Bootstrap have been around since more than a decade, like I said just now, is the most popular CSS framework. And of course, they have a way larger community of developers, forum and tools that can easily help a beginner. So if you are a beginner, I will recommend you to start with Bootstrap first and maybe slowly ease into Tailwind. Tailwind is still a relatively newer framework, and of course, you have plenty of rooms to grow in terms of the community and the tools that to available online. But I would say the information online at the moment is sufficient as a beginner to learn. It's just that you might find more tutorials specific for Bootstrap. Right. The way next move to Alpine Js. So I will once again not paraphrase anything. I will just straight away tell you what the website is saying. Like it's like simple, lightweight, powerful as hell. So it says that Alpine is a rough minimal tool for composing behavior directly in a markup. Think of it like a jQuery for the modern web. Plug in a script tag and get going. So, and also to quote their official website, there is no better way to get the feel what is Alpine JS and what you can do than by seeing by yourself. So I just straight away pull out the Alpine JS. Right. It's very simple, yeah. Here. Very simple. Just X data, you pick variable here. Always tag HTML model, whatever you want. This is a very simple like add on to your HTML tag. Very simple stuff. And just a little like 15 attributes, 60s. Okay, you want to play around 2 methods. So it's very lightweight as a small, I can say, JavaScript framework. And the next component, I think this one to closely simplify is a very powerful PHP framework. And I'll just briefly go through what Laravel can bring to on the border view controller, also known as MVC, as the architecture pattern. So you have no idea. User use the front end as a controller. Control and manipulate the data that the user wants. And of course, Laravel also have the whole premise of a Laravel is to facilitate the process of authentication of development projects. The developers of Laravel managed to combine all the best aspects from the Rails, ACW. If they say this is good, it should be good. And quickly moving on, the last component, livewire. It allows users to build reactive and dynamic interface using a Laravel blade. And for us developers, we just need to put a little bit of JavaScript and that's it. And what I mean like a little bit of JavaScript is like with livewire. With livewire, the only JavaScript you'll be using is to, let's say, you need to pass data lousy events, like let's say on click, the little the JavaScript that you need, and what do you want to do. So eventually, it's only these two things that you add for JavaScript. Then pagination, farm validation, notification, and file loads. Like it might sound like it's not that wow without reloading, without page reloading. Of course, the features aren't just limited to as above only. These are the features that are commonly found in those web sites that you can see. Right. So the only functionality that you can find on livewire. Right. So after this simple explanation, I'll move on to a very simple live coding session, I guess. Right. Think of it. Okay, I can see the itself is a like if you know what is Vue Js, React.js, it's essentially the same, but just think of it as a front-end framework to compute the laravel. It's livewire, and Alpine Js is just a more to complement like laravel and livewire together. Live demonstration. I will first of all say my project isn't how to say. Can you see the laravel? I believe you can see the laravel. Okay. So Laravel is a very simple hosting. It's not like a local host lah. If I make a new Laravel project, very simple, click and click at Laravel. And because of some technical difficulties, I think you can install. Okay, I'll just go straight away go to their. So this is the tool stack I mentioned just now, and you have a preset here. And normally you can just straight away put this in your console place, CMD or whatever. Put this and run, it should run. But however, I think like a week ago, there's some issues lah. It couldn't run everything. So I can see. So with this, I will not make a new project. I will go back. Give me a second. I pre-made a project here, right? This is pre-made. So I named it. Okay, what Laragon is different from the normal, let's say your Laravel command place is you have this playground, and if I go to here, see playground.test, and I get this welcome page. Of course, this is not the basic, but I tried my best to restore. So this is Torstack. If you want to try Torstack later, you think you might to manually install Torstack one by one lah. So so if I start, I need to have a okay. I have a terminal here. So playground and here and there. Simple stuff. Right. Okay. So from this I don't think I can go into Laravel. I will just talk about very simple stuff lah. Like, okay, first of all, you have routes. What this route means is that, like, you have this playground for test. Think of it as a string lah. Don't care about this testing. You have this slash that directs you to welcome. So the welcome .blade is here. You have resource, fields, and you see welcome .blade. And this name I will explain later lah. It's very straightforward as well. Just put it here. Just put it here. Right. So you can see that welcome page. Welcome page. Right. Very simple. And you see that I extend layout app. When you see layouts.app, it must be a and app is here. And see once again layout.base. Layout.base. Then you have all these things you can find in your HTML or whatever PHP project. You'll find all these. Alright. So I don't think I alter anything. This is what you should get if you just download the top preset. I didn't anything. So going back to this, like you see this tag here, then you see U body. Go back to app.blade, see extend layout.base, section body. And in this body, I will give you the content here. And go back to welcome, see extend layout.app, and then section content, content, and welcome page. You might think this is redundant, but later I will show the usage of this lah. Alright. So first of all, I will start. Okay, this is now. I just start here lah. So what's the usage of like having a whole thing here and having a whole thing here? Like, couldn't you combine? Okay, I'll just show you a very simple example lah. So let's say I want a very background. I don't like this white color. Let's say I want it to. So I will show. I want it to have a, let's say, background gray 100. This is Tailwind. This is how Tailwind call their colors lah. Let's say background, and then this is the color, then this is the hue. So I can show you some color. Yeah, these are the colors they preset already, like gray, zinc, neutral. So this is the preset, and of course you can also add on the colors that you would want, and you will also show it how you do that a little lah. It's very simple only. So for now, I will just leave it to background 10, background gray 100. This one goes from 50, 100, 200, and so on until like 900. Like exactly here lah. 50 to 900. And if you want to change a different hue, I'm pretty sure the documentation teach you how lah. Like this is what we'll do later. Very simple. Okay. Together. And oops. Okay. Technical difficulties. Oops. Okay. Accidentally turned off. Yep. It was again. Oh. I need to add the. I need to add so it stretch the whole screen. So main H screen. Main H screen is pretty much just if you know raw CSS is 100 pH, I think. I believe so. Okay. So it should work now. Yeah, the whole screen is now gray 100. And let's say I want a simple a nav bar on top. So I'll just straight away create a new. So by the way, this is how I create a new platform lah. Like as you can see, their platform is special. It's not like welcome.php. It's welcome.plate.php. So you must not typo. So I will just this for later lah, later usage. Validation.blade.php. And I will just copy paste like this. Copy paste this. Validation. Okay, simple stuff. Okay. So now I want to add a new navbar on top. So first of all, I add, let's make it height 12. PG, make it the darkest gray. Right. And I wanted to, when I press href, I will go to home. So I will just stop it for now. Go to home. And then just now add this validation, I will go, I will lead it to there. And just a simple form lah. That's what we will do later. And with this, oops. I will first make the text to white, text white. It's very ugly, so I will add flex here. Okay, flex so items become center to the div. Right. And I will add this P, just now like padding and margin. So if you want the margin, you put M, and you want margin to the left, ML. You margin to the top, MT. You're padding for a bottom, you put PB. So on and so forth. Very, very straightforward. So ML2, just put ML2. And so I can see the stuff doesn't go anywhere yet. So for now, I will add the wrap up here. Here. So I just should copy paste. So at the moment, like as it is now, this one this to the home page, aka this page. So for this, I want to go form, and I want the form leads to this validation. So I change this to validation. The name, I just put form lah. Okay. And once if I go form, now it goes to validation page. If I go back, come on welcome page. Okay, so far so good, very simple. So now going back to this, okay, just now I can see this web, you have this name home, name form. It's just a simple way to redirect lah. Like because they have so many, like if you involved in a huge Laravel project, they might like categorize like one component into one folder, or maybe like subfolder inside a subfolder. Maybe it become very hard to call lah. Like if you call it this way, it still works like home. I go home, like very simple. Let's say I just go to form, press home, without doing home. It's that simple if you want to do it this way. But let's say if you have too many file directories that they want to call, just do it this way. Okay. So this is how you call a PHP syntax inside your big file lah. Like two curly brackets, and you have route, and you can direct to home for this. And I'll go back here lah. This one is the form. So if I copy this whole thing, just create this start, and I create the form. And once I go back here, form, direct to form, home, direct to home. Of course, if you want, you can straight away, like I said just now, you can still do this form. This one should still work. See? Form. Both way works. Like there's a lot of ways to do the same thing in Laravel. It's just your self-preference. Like as I said just now, this app-based welcome, all this stuff, you can do other place like you can do like X app layouts to call the same thing like how you do extend section. It's just a different way to call it lah. So it's very flexible. Like whatever you want, you choose it your own way. I don't think it's any difference lah. This either way works for you. Up to you lah. Okay. So Now, this is very simple stuff only. Oops. Okay. Oops. Alright. Like that. So equals some stuff. Okay. So this is some simple Tailwind explanation. I'll go a little bit in depth to make it show what Tailwind is all about. So if we do some live coding, it's okay. So here, welcome to play. Yeah, I just take it away lah. So let's make some cards. I believe you guys know what is cards. Like very simple. So first of all, I want my cards to talk about new technology. Okay, 2022 this year. And I want my body for my cards to talk about, let's just say here is the latest technology introduced the we can do so far. Are you interested? So, of course, it's not going to be as good lah. So, like this. I want this to be my header. I want this to be my body in my cards. So, first of all, I will wrap everything out on a div. So, I'll make it so the cards is only the max size. So, max width W. I want it to be a SM size, it's small size. I want my background to be white. Alright, so far so good. So now you can see SM width and a truncate, not truncate lah, make it to the next line. Okay. And next I want to add, I don't like how close it is, so I just add the padding 2. What it means is the padding height, the top, bottom, left, right is become padding 2 lah. And of course there's also some special way to call it as well, like px, like xy, you know the graph xy. So if I do py3 px2, I'll get this lah. So x2 is here, 3 is on top and bottom also. Okay. Moving on, so I like my cuts to be rounded, make it a rounded large round, and let's add some border. Right. I want my border to become a border gray color. Let's make it 200. And I also want to add some, let's say, shadow. I want my shadow to become a medium-sized shadow. Right. And now you have this. And you see, everything is so packed here. I just add a simple padding lah. The whole universal padding right here. I'll wrap this class, add some padding, just padding 2 as well. And close it. Now you see, this padding should be applied as form as well. You see, it pads now. Right. And I like my header to become a larger font. So class, make it solar. So text, you have like text SM, text XL, text MD. I think XL extra large lah, very very simple. So if you want all the XL, you can do even 2XL, even 3XL. And just make it font bold lah. And this one, I guess I can make it so that I can put a margin top 2, so it becomes larger. Right. Right. So far so good. I'll just change this. Hit P, slightly bigger, P6. Right. This is much better, right? Right. So before that, there's also some functionalities, like let's say you want to add a hover. Like when you hover this, I want to change to a what you call it? I want to change it to gray color, a darker gray color. So very simple. Hover, background, gray, and just add 100 lah. See, it works. And see the now that the background color is the same thing. Now I want to add some custom color. I do like this gray color. Right. So when you have your this Laravel project, you scroll down, you'll find the Tailwind config. I don't believe this is exactly what it should look like, but I try my best to restore to as basic as possible. So either way, I have some color already prepared. So you have theme, extend, and here you add your color here. And now, since that you are changing your JavaScript, you need to run back your npm run dev, or you can do npm run watch. npm run watch is like whenever you have changes to the JavaScript, it will run npm run dev so that it recompiles itself. Just make it take a while. Let it run. Alright. So now take across the books. So I add go dark. And I will just add go light. See, this is the custom color. And I want this hover to change to go dark. So you can see I called it go dark, and this is the hex number, I think. I'm not sure. I think it's called hex number. Go light is for this number. So when I call it here, see I use the go light bg, it's still background. The only difference is I add this go light to it and this go dark. So when I hover, now I got this. What is ugly lah. Now I will just very simple hover, make it text go white whenever I hover. So text white. See, it's just as simple. And I like so yep. All right, moving on. So before I continue anything, so the premise of using a Tailwind is they recommend you design from mobile towards tablet and then desktop. But when you hear it, you might not understand, so I just straight away show you lah. Like let's say I want to have just a copy paste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, right here. The conventional way of using it is I'll just go back to here. Mobile view. So of course, how to say the grid way lah, the grid way, make it nicely like okay, I want this here to have 2 grids, and then like this I want to have 4 grids. Very simple. Tailwind is also support that. So this is how you can do it. So first of all, I need to wrap a grid class. So grid, I will have. So when I say design from mobile view up, so first of all, I want it to have only one per row lah. Because this is like this grid columns. Oops, column 1, and I want it to have some gaps. Yep. Close the tab. Yep. So you can see that when you go to tabular view, it's still 1. When you go to large view, it's still 1. Okay. And now I will go to for the empty size, aka medium, aka tablet size. I will make it so grid equals 2. So tablet size you have 2, and the last one is LG. I will have grid equals 4, and refresh that's 4. So what I mean is that, let's say, like if I want to delete, I just want to have the smaller screen for the mobile view, and I don't want this tablet to have 2. So when I refresh, the mobile view ticks over towards the tablet. Like, see, this is mobile until like this SM, MD both takes host 1. And when I go to LG, we have host 4. So similarly, if let's say I just take away all this stuff, this is what from the mobile view until the desktop view, it all inherits. So like this, like this, like this. So the best way is you develop your project from mobile view out. So you already have 1, and then you have MD to have 2, LG to have 4. Just a simple way lah. Like let's say if you design a desktop view first, and you will be like coding with this, and when you want to go back down, you need to like reverse engineer lah. Like you need to add back the MD, and then maybe add back to SM. So with this SM, it defaults to the like whenever you aren't like you don't need to do SM for this. When there's nothing right, SM will be take over. They have the highest priority. So you have a grid coast 1, and MD LG like go from bottom to top lah. So this is the premise of using Tailwind. They ask you to from mobile view up to desktop. Right. And now you might see another problem, like you have all these cards. You have all these 8 cards that, let's say I want to change I don't like this background gold again, I want to change another color. It's gonna be very difficult, like you need to like Control F, replace. It's very hassle, a lot of hassle. So the simplest way in Laravel, I'll just close this first, stop this a minute. So in Laravel, they have a built-in function to make component. Like they have a literal command line to make component. They have artisan, PHP artisan, make component. Make it simple cards. Right, we create the component successfully. And now you can see the component simple cards. And now here, view simple cards. What it does is, it renders this component here. If I click Control click, it go to here. So if I throw this away and copy paste this, save, and throw all this away. So this is how you would call a base Laravel component lah. So X, and you can see in your views you have components, and when you X, go inside component straight away. So simple cards. You see, and you can see default rolling. It should work lah. So I will copy paste this again, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and it will do the same thing. Just to make sure it works, I click some more. See, the knife is here. Right. So this is a simple way to call a component, and now I will demonstrate how you can send the props lah. Like let's say you see all this year, I want to change the year for each one. Very simple. So first of all, I will just put some variable set year. 2020, do this way first. Right, 2021 to right. And now, of course, it doesn't work lah. You haven't copied past the props yet. So first of all, you need to go back to the simple cards. For this one, you need to declare that this is a public variable. My public variable, I put set year, and now I need to initialize my set year. So set year, and this set year. Okay. And now to push to pass the props set year to here, just like I demonstrated just now, you need to have a curly bracket, and then you put the variable of set year. And I do the same for this one. And when I save and I look, oops, if I miss anything, Oh, sometimes it does this one. Okay. I have no idea why, but sometimes it does this. I will just put here lah. Here, save. Here, save. Here, save. And now it works, you see. I passed my props here, 2020 to 2027. It works just like that. And now you have the simple laravel component. You done some simple Tailwind, how you call the classes. So now I will go into some simple Alpine Js lah. It's very simple. So what I want to do is that I want to have an on-off switch. I just close this. I want to have an on-off switch so that I can show the 2020 and above cards and 2020 and below cards. Alright, so first of all, I will go back to here and close this. Okay. I want to have two buttons. One is on, one is off. Button, button, and I want it to have a class. Just make it. Oops. Just over the cursor like that. Right, so I make it padding tool. I need to have a background. I want it to have a border, like actually there's not a border. I can put a two size border as border 2, and I want to have the border to have a gray color like hue 200, and I want it to be rounded plus as well, and shadow make it empty. And this one off. Now we have this. Okay, actually I haven't finished it. I first of all need to make it so it goes to implementer. So I need to just flex, justify center, and wrap this properly. Alright. And next of all, I want it to have the two buttons stick to each other. So inline caps. Right. So now the buttons should go to the middle and stick to each other. But you see, it's still curved, right? The thing about Tailwind is that you can set it so that the rounded only go to the left. Like L left rounded to only left. And this one I want to rounded only right hard. So you see, it sticks together. And I will just put a PT tool. Little bit. Okay. So now I want it when the button is active, I want it to be black color. When it's inactive, I want it to be a gray color. I think someone asking some questions. Okay, go through what's the intention you use to quickly jump to left, right? I'm not that sure. I just straight away Google Laravel, useful VS Code extension, and it just pops up. I just download. I'm not that sure. You can just play around, I guess. Okay, so okay. Now I have this button. I want it to active white color, inactive gray color. And so in default, I want this to be active and this one to be gray, say 100 lah, 100 as well. So in ideal world, when I click this one black color and this one green color. So with Alpine Js, it will help this very simply lah. So this is how we can declare a variable like I showed just now, x data. And make it so it's set active is true. And now this is declared. I will put it like at click when I click, I want this set active to stay true. So this is how you can do it. You need to do the sign set true, and for this I have to be set false, right? But you haven't done anything yet. So what Alpine Js to to insert the class, we have this this how we insert lah. We have this class, and first you need to declare the class, like what do you want to insert. So when this is inactive, I need to become background gray color 100. So this is when the set active is false. Okay, so far so good. And I will just try it out. When I click this, it will become gray color. Click this and become white color. Okay, so far so good. So I just copy the whole thing here. Make it so I want this to become white color when it's inactive. When active is false. So I click here, become white. Click here, become white. Here, become white. But you see, it's not perfect. You need to have this into the set. This one will become background white color when background gray color when it's if. And fresh. So now it goes perfectly. This is a very small example lah. See, it works perfectly. Alright. So now I'll make it so that this one may show I need to escape. So the other way to echo the text is to do it this way. You have two curly bracket. This is how you echo it to escape, like the smaller sign. That's what I can see. Smaller sign. And just put it up here. Escape. So you can have this. So I want you to show the linear below and shows the linear below. The linear above and show the linear below. So very simple, I just copy paste this and just put this one simple. And if you remember just now, when I talked about the Alpine Js, there's also a x.show. So I want this 2020 to show when this is false. Yeah, false. So not set active. And this one is active. I'll just show all this. And it doesn't work. It's because this X data only wraps around this side. You need to wrap the whole thing to pass the X data to everything. So very simply, just an empty div wrapper. I'll just copy paste the X data, put it here, close the tab, copy, and fix copy and refresh. Now you see, terminator below shows here, terminator above it shows here. And there's one more functionality that I want to show that like they have a default transition. It's called X transition. The default X transition. Just a default way to call the transition. Like refresh. You see, it's not the best transition, but it's the default. Like you can play around to alter your favorite transition or whatever. But it's there if you want to do it. So yeah, that's about it for about Alpine Js. This is the simplest explanation I think of. So I guess the next step is talk about the livewire. This one, validation page. Alright, I already pre-typed everything, I guess. So okay, before that, to use a livewire, you need to properly make a component. Like just now I show how you make a component with laravel. With livewire, it's very similar. PHP, artisan, make, instead of component, we make livewire. And this is I want to have a contact form. Now I'm showing how you do validation with livewire. Contact form. Yep. And you can see here. Wait a minute. Okay, here. Okay. You have this contact form, like very similar like the simple cards. You have this component dot simple cards, and you have this livewire dot contact form. I'll just close away the simple cards for now. And if I go here, it will direct to here. So I will just copy paste the simple form. Alright. So as you can see, this is an empty Tailwind form lah. Like except this this one I just leave it here for now. This when there's an error and want to show it to the user. So this two is what it does. You can see it's empty lah, nothing inside here, nothing inside here. This is the simple submit form. So first of all, I haven't called it yet. So this is how you would call a livewire component lah. Like before this, I use X. Let me just show you this. I use X simple cut for normal laravel component or livewire. You do it this way, livewire. And now I need to put the name contact form and just close the bracket. And when I refresh, this is it. This is the empty half. So I want it to I want it so that the full name I want it to at least 6 characters. Just for me lah. I want a 6 characters. And email I want it to have a proper email form. So what we can do is that when I go back to here, this is this one. I guess it is there for now. Right here. So first of all, I have a public name. I declare first. Oops. Public name, and I have a public email. And I want to add some rules. Like I said just now, I want it to have some rules so protected. Set some rules. Protected. Yep. So for name, I want it to be you must have at least is required minimum of 6. Right, simple. So email, I want it to be a real email. So I will also put required email. Alright, so this is our rules that I want to enforce. So moving on, I will when I click this save contact, I want it to run a save contact function. So public function and is save contact. So I will declare that when the data is validated, give me a second. Yeah. Yep, I forgot that one. I need to first when the I will need to have like whenever user is typing something, I need to update straight away. So I will have a updated. Put it as so that I have to validate whenever there's an update. And here I want to validate. And user is validated. And yeah. And normally when you have so there's the whole let's say another hour I can explain about how you can insert data, how you can make database, but normally this is what you will do lah. Like as you have this contact, and I will just create a valid data. This is what you will do lah normally. This is how you will this is how you will insert the data. But since I haven't done any back database at all, I'll just comment it out. So like whenever this validates, I'll just DD it out lah. Make sure it probably works. So validated data. Yeah. When it yeah. So if it works, it should print out this DD out. Alright. And like I showed just now, there's some message that I pass through it fails. I think I just copy paste. Yeah. Okay. This is like going to require the full name cannot be empty. Minimum 36. Required cannot be empty. The email must be email format and show this. If it fails lah. So now of course when you refresh it does nothing. I still haven't find the livewire components yet. So back to this. So first of all, I will do it so that you can't submit unless all the forms are correct lah. So it's how you bind your form. So wire, make it so the submit prevent. So that it won't. Alright. I want to bind it so that when I type this, I only bind it to this name so that it will pass back to me like what do I need to do to pass the data to the database. So at here, input to another wire. I will root model as name. Sending for this one. Put it as this email. So and this one save contact. Yep. And when I refresh, see it immediately. Whenever I do something, it updates immediately. Correctly fixed. So okay. And email and save. See it save properly. So it will be if it doesn't save properly, it will not. It will prevent it from saving. Just try again. Save contact. See it works. And I guess that's it. That's all for the four components. Once again, this is how you would insert data. Like you need to declare the whole database. I think there's another hour of tutorial we need to go through. So, any question? No question? Oh, like actually just now, I have no idea. Sorry, I just Google best laravel VS Code extension, and I just download the top 10. You can play around lah. It's pretty much the top 10 now. I can tell you that. Any question? There's no question. I guess I will end the session here lah. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Oh yes, you're typing. Okay, thank you. See you.
Thank you, man.